There's a couple exciting gaming news stories we have to talk about today, starting with Smash Bros. Potentially seeing its first real challenge and competition in the multiplayer fighting gaming space. Then we also have to cover the big update around Nintendo Switch Online that we know to be hitting later today, a breakdown of when we can expect the update to hit the service, and also a large conversation of where the roadmap leads from here around Nintendo Switch Online Plus expansion pack. What's up, Nation? If it's your first time on the channel, make sure you join Sunbro Nation by subscribing below, hit the like button on this video if you enjoy it today, and make sure you turn on your bell notification icon so you're kept up to date with all the newest gaming news. Now, as I mentioned, guys, we got a couple different stories to discuss, and we have to kick it off with Multiversus, as if you're not familiar, this is coming to us from Warner Brothers Studios, essentially trying to put together their stab at a Smash Bros. Fighter clone style game. We have seen Smash Bros. Fighter clones over the course of times, most recently with Nickelodeon All-Star Brawl, that I do think was notable and fun, and a lot of people did enjoy that game, and it has definitely like an interesting library of characters that you can fight against each other with. But normally after release with Smash Bros. Fighter clones, we see a lot of the hype die down around the titles. People just ultimately default back to Smash Bros. Once they've had their fill on other fighting games, because to be quite honest, the fine-tuning and the refinement to the Smash Bros. Fighting style mechanics that have taken place over the years of multiple releases are just at this point untouchable in the world of fighting games, and nothing really feels quite as responsive or just fun and enjoyable at the end of the day. And I've had my eyes on Multiversus since it was originally unveiled, just because of the large character roster that Warner Brothers owns and will have access to, and they even have the memed Shaggy from Scooby-Doo being super powerful and a playable character out of the gate, and it's a very interesting prospect to see this game worked on. Now, one very big problem, and we will dive into this more later, is that as of right now it is only available for every other platform outside of the Nintendo Switch. I am hopeful, because I don't think this game looks too graphically demanding to run on the Switch, that maybe later on down the road we will see some kind of native Switch port. But the reason it is in the news in a big way today is because Warner Brothers has launched a closed alpha build that people can sign up for. I will have it listed in the description down below. You do have to be chosen, so I'm not sure what the rate of players they will allow into this free-to-play title will be initially out of the gate. I signed up myself today after seeing all of the footage and people talk about it online, and by all accounts this is one of the best Smash clones, if not the best, that we've seen yet, period, with some very interesting level design, characters to pick, and some very impressive voice acting, as well as apparently there are character specific phrases depending on who you were fighting in each individual match. And to highlight a couple of the quick statements that I read over on VGC with their impressions of this game, is they have the following to say: Multiversus might just be the first truly legit Smash Bros. Alternative. As Warner Bros. Platform fighter starts its closed alpha, color us impressed. Then, to quote what they have to say around the unique voice acting instances that you can come across in this game, they have the following to say: put Bugs Bunny in a fight against Arya Stark and he'll comment on her cloak, warning her that better be fake fur you're wearing or we're gonna have some trouble. You then have to have the conversation of the wide variety of characters that could be added into this game over the course of time, and they have the following to state about that. Given that Warner Bros. Discovery includes Warner Bros. Pictures, New Line Cinema, Cartoon Network, and Adult Swim, among many others, there's a wide pool of potential IPs here, from the Powerpuff Girls to the Matrix and everything in between. Now, another couple very positive things to state about this game is the fact that you can check it out at no cost, as it is launching as a completely free-to-play title. Now, I'm sure they have plenty of things to get people to pay as time goes on, and probably purchase new character packs and skins and things down the line. You know how these games as a service games typically go, but at least you can hop in and see how the mechanics work with no monetary requirement whatsoever. And then in addition to that, you have completely cross-platform multiplayer online, which is supported out of the gate, which, you know, if you've been around on the channel for a while, I am a huge fan of that concept, and we're seeing it implemented with Fall Guys around the corner on when that hits the Nintendo Switch. And this will be one that right out of the gate right now, regardless of what console you're playing on, you will be able to hop into a match with friends, whether they're playing the game on their Xbox consoles or whether you're playing on the PlayStation or even your PC. And if we could get Switch in this conversation, we really could have a long-term fun game that gets regular updates, that gets exciting new characters announced at any time, that gets you back into the game if for some reason you've gotten out of it for a while, the probability for fantastic online tournament style gameplay to take place, and a really large fan community around the type of characters we're going to see implemented from the large library of IP that Warner Brothers has access to. So if you can't tell, I'm extremely hyped for this title. Like I said, it's free to play. You can sign up. I'll have the link in the description down below for the closed alpha build that is available that people are able to play right now. I think it's only running for another 8 days or so. I signed up myself and I'm hoping that I will get selected, but regardless, I do look forward to playing this game when it's finally ultimately released, playing it online. And you know, now that we have to have that real reality check that we are done with brand new Smash Bros characters and Smash Bros fighters, it may be time to move on to a game that will have continued support for the ongoing future and have a reason to play online fighter games again in the modern era. So who knows when if ever we're going to get another Smash Bros, as Ultimate really is the best Smash Bros of all time and has the largest roster. Will we ever see a sequel? I am hopeful we will, and we'll be talking about it one day in the future on the channel. But for now, I would definitely look into Warner Brothers Multiversus in case if you are wanting to experience a multiplayer platform fighter game in the meantime, and hopefully sooner rather than later we can have the conversation about this game making it onto the Switch. So I want to hear from you guys in the comments down below around your personal thoughts and impressions on Multiversus so far, the brand new gameplay that's floating around online, and are you starting to get hyped for this game and to play it yourself like I am after all of these new positive comments are emerging? So please share all your thoughts and feelings on all things Multiversus in the comments down below. Now, the other story we're talking about today has to do with the upcoming update we know to be right around the corner that will be hitting Nintendo Switch Online. We are talking about the brand new N64 Kirby game known as Kirby 64 and the Crystal Shards. That will be hitting later this evening. If you are in the US, I'm going to do some time translation for you guys so you actually know when to expect the update to hit, because we do have the official maintenance scheduled to the N64 app emulator itself. As you can see, the following posted up on Twitter by Nin Status Bot, which is essentially a bot that literally just looks for maintenance to be scheduled for anything that is as part of Nintendo's online services. Maintenance has been scheduled for Nintendo 64, Nintendo Switch Online on May 20th from 55 UTC to 2 UTC. Now, to quickly convert that over to the times that we would expect that game to go live here in the US due to when the maintenance is done, that would be at 5 p.m. Pacific time, 7 p.m. Central time, or 8 p.m. Eastern time. So if you are waiting around today wondering when Nintendo will be updating that Nintendo Switch Online N64 emulator app with the brand new game, that is the timeline I would expect. I guess it's not technically guaranteed to go live as soon as maintenance is done, but right around that time when maintenance is done, we will probably see that notable tweet that we normally see Nintendo send out where it is, hey, right now you can go hop into Kirby 64 and the Crystal Shards. And I personally am very hyped to hop into this game again. I have childhood memories of playing through it, but I never owned it myself, so it's not one that I replayed over and over, and I played it at a friend's house, progressing through the game, changing the controller back and forth together to actually complete it from start to finish. And then, by the way, it has some very fun multiplayer that will also be supported with online play as part of this update. So I personally am hyped for this title to hit and be available later today. We then do have to have that discussion that we know that Pokemon Snap is the next game that will be up for June. As you know, the good thing about Nintendo, even though they haven't committed to some kind of exact update schedule saying that they are doing one game per month, since the service has launched and since we've seen the addition of new games being added in, it has been one every single calendar month. It's kind of sporadic and all over the place. It might be towards the very tail end of the month, it might be right in the middle, or it might be more towards the beginning, but they have consistently stuck to at least one new N64 title, leading us to speculate and predict that Pokemon Snap will be the one for June. And then what do we have to look forward to that we can think of that Nintendo could communicate new updates for the service in June? Of course, we should be expecting some kind of announcement around their summertime direct presentation, which would most logically fall in the first couple weeks of June, and that's what I will be looking out for. Unfortunately, Nintendo does not typically give a very long ramp up to direct times at all. Sometimes when they're a part of E3, historically, we do get a little bit more future communication on when their E3 direct will take place, but since E3 is entirely canceled this year, I would expect this announcement to be tweeted out probably no more than 2 to 3 days before the event is actually going to unfold and take place. And if I'm a betting man, while I am very hopeful that we are around the corner from getting the Game Boy family of systems added in, meaning Game Boy Advance, Game Boy Color, and Game Boy Original model. I think it is more likely for Nintendo to announce an updated N64 games roadmap, as we're still really in the infancy of the expansion pack at this point in time, and they could go guns blazing and update the N64 games that are coming around the corner, plus also here's the Game Boy family of systems. But I do think it's more likely for Nintendo to drip feed this service a little bit longer, and I think the soonest we could maybe expect something like Game Boy family of systems that we do know they're working on. By the way, those emulators were verified and have been all but confirmed to be worked on directly from Nintendo, specifically their nerd branch that has worked on other emulators for them over the course of time. So yes, I'm expecting them to hit, but when will they hit? September is always the direct that they've done a new type of system or brand new major addition to Nintendo Switch Online, and I think that that's more logical to expect Nintendo to announce, and I think that may be a more logical event for them to announce something like brand new systems. They could even stretch it out until the next following year. Like, we really don't know when to expect brand new consoles, but we do know that we have roughly, I think it's 35 or 38, something like that, planned games for the N64 at this point, due to that data mine that hit, essentially revealing how many titles so far have been worked out in the code. So they have a lot of N64 games, and one per month seems to be the pace that we are going to be looking for. Maybe once we get to some of the smaller N64 titles, because clearly not everything's going to be a major first party Nintendo developed game, maybe we start to see that shift to something like 2 N64 games per month. But I think that this will be a slow drip feed pace for the foreseeable future, and we're probably talking about that with every other month getting like that 3 to 5 Sega Genesis games as time goes on as well. And I believe the list of that is somewhere upwards of 55 games that are currently slated and built into the emulator as part of that data mine as well. But I am hopeful that as we approach the end of the announced N64 titles, the next lineup of future games are going to be all solid. We still have some major ones we could look forward to, like your Smash Bros, like maybe one day GoldenEye finally comes to fruition. Maybe we talk about Donkey Kong 64, and or for me, one of my most hype N64 games, Diddy Kong Racing. I really want to see hit the service with online play and hopefully online co-op play as well. I would absolutely love to hop into that game and play with a friend through the entire story. One of the most unique N64 racing game experiences, and you really don't see a kart racer style game ever get a story mode and adventure mode built in behind it. I really want to see that game come back. If you guys can't tell, there's many other on the list that I hope that we do ultimately see hit the service, but we're not going to know anything on when and what titles to expect until Nintendo does officially announce them. So at this point in the video, guys, I want to hear from you personally on both the stories we talked about today. Are you hyped for Multiversus, and will you be checking it out once it actually does become available? And are you going to sign up for the closed beta to hopefully check it out ahead of time? Also, bonus question, share with me what characters you hope we see added in down the road, and whether or not you think we'll ever see a Switch version of that game. And then definitely let me know how you guys are feeling about the Nintendo Switch Online Plus expansion pack right now that we are wrapping up the officially announced N64 games, and which ones do you hope we see unveiled at something like the Summertime Direct? And do you think that we will actually get the Game Boy family of systems announced at that summer event? Or do you think, like me, like maybe the soonest we could expect some kind of announcement would be something like a September Nintendo Direct? So regardless of your thoughts and feelings on everything we talked about today, I do look forward to hearing from you guys in the comments down below before we leave the video, as I do look forward to getting a back and forth conversation started with you all around these topics. Go watch yesterday's video next if you haven't already, where we discuss a very interesting and controversial investment into Nintendo Corporation directly, and what, if anything, it actually means for Nintendo's future. Also, make sure you like, subscribe, turn on your notification bell, and I will see you guys in the next video.